Hello, welcome back to Math Time with Professor Prime, and I am your host as always, Professor Prime. Lately I've been making some brief videos here and there, with some more coming in the future, which brings me to my topic today, like exploring the timeline and just talking about how math works with like looking at things over time, and also just like looking at my own life in time. So one of the cool parts about math is I can take a situation, I can talk about the here and the now, but I can also use information that I've deduced to say something about the past. And I could also say something about the future potentially. And the other thing is, like, of course, I could also take something from the past and say something about the here and now, and then also the future. And when I get to the future, I can play these same sort of games, and I think that's amazing. But my whole thing is just like math can be a powerful tool, and if I know what I'm saying and what I want to say, I can say stuff about the world over the timeline. And one of the common things in math is you're looking at how something is changing over time, and so I think that's very, very appropriate. And you're seeing how everything connects, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And then I jump to my own life, and I was like, well, on one hand, it's like it's not necessarily as neat. Not saying that all math is neat, because some of it's quite crazy out there, but I look at my timeline, and while life does some weird things, uh, I still get information from different stages of my life, right? Like if I'm looking at the here and now, I could definitely say some things about my past, or like that past informs me of who I am and what I'm doing right now. But it also informs me of what could come in the future, as does the present. And when I get to the future, I could look back and again play those same games. But I look at this in a variety of ways, right? Because I have my personal life, I have my professional life, and um, while you'll want to keep those separate, they blend. That can't be helped. And at each stage, though, both influence each other, and they influence me across the timeline. Because I look at everything that I've done career-wise, and it's influenced by other jobs that I had, and also just my experiences over time. And when I look at my big mission, to help other people see the wonder in math, and also practicality down the line, just also just expanding the world. Um, I look at that, and a lot of that's informed by my experiences, right? Like, I've seen so many great things about math, and I've seen a lot of people struggle with it when it doesn't have to be that way. I've seen the whimsy systematically beaten out of people who once had fun with math, or could have. And it's just like, that bums me out. But I want to change that in the future. And so I look at here and now, and I look at the past, and I look at the future, and trying to piece that all together, and trying to be as mathematical about that as I can. But life again doesn't always work that way. But at the same time, that connects with math, because we could have a pretty good model of something, but then there might be some variable that we never considered that might just peek in, or things just might not go how we plan. But there's fields in math devoted to looking at things like that, and I think that's amazing too. So I guess if I'm thinking about the main purpose of this video, is just to say math is great for communication, and also like just talking about what's going on in the world, but not just the here and now, but the past and the future. And we do the same thing in our regular lives too. And I think both are pretty cool, and both, for me personally, influence each other too, because like how I approach math is impacted by my experiences with it, and how I approach life right now, like it's been heavily impacted by math. And for all of you out there, that math part, that's sure too, even if you don't do that on a regular basis. Just something worth considering. So that being said, I hope this was interesting to someone out there. And I am navigating life in the timeline and trying to figure that out. And I imagine a lot of you are doing the same, and more power to you. I see you in the next video. Professor Prime out.